led by What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, yo? Welcome to another edition of College Basketball Hangout. I'm Parlay Tease, bringing in my prez of Who-Bangin Sports, DJ Big Boss. What it be, bro? Bless us.
Let me hear y'all say yeah, because we coming off of a 2-0 yesterday. We doing good in college right now, but college basketball is a dangerous sport, though. I'm not gonna brag or nothing crazy. I'm just having fun, man. You got to enjoy the win, so I'm enjoying it. How you feeling today, Tease?
Bro, I'm feeling good. Little kind of I got a little hung up last night, man. Texas should have had that game, full game. We cashed the first half with Illinois, but the game that really got me in my head here was starting off the first 2 minutes of the game. Yeah, damn near 15 points, man, in Virginia and JMU, and then it just went and we didn't get that cover in the first half. So that's what it is. We just need to spit that out, move on, and we roll on to today. New day, man. So we got a couple games on the board we're going to talk about. I'm gonna talk about this first game up first because it is an early start. I think it starts 6:30. Siena, Georgetown. Georgetown. -3 in the first half. I'm liking that play. It's a play that these two teams. If I'm looking at them, I'm thinking Siena's got a shot to win this game, but Georgetown, so far this season has been that team that comes out first half hard and then second half, man, they're letting teams roll all over them. We saw it with American last Saturday. And I think we're going to get the same type of game here against Siena. Siena's a good team. They're 5-3 out of the Metro, and they're both teams are decent. Decent defenders. I mean, more so on Siena. Siena's a better defender, but then again, you have the disparity in the difference in the competition that they played. So, as far as you got better shooting team in Siena, and that's why I think that Siena could win this game, man. But I'm not going to call it. I burnt myself yesterday calling the first half and full game, so I'm just going to take Georgetown first half in this game -3. You got any thoughts?
I think it's a really good matchup for Georgetown. I mean, if Georgetown could put off a solid win against this Siena team, then they may be showing us that they're moving in the right direction, getting ready to go into conference play. But Georgetown, to me, overall, is a little below expectations for this far in the season. But we've seen in college sports that, teams go from one type of flower to a whole type of different bush later on in the season. So there's always a chance for them to turn it around. Here's a perfect opportunity, early game, eyes on you, baby. Got to come in here and play the defense, play the offense that you've been coached, and you should be fine versus this Siena team. But big shot for a team like Siena, like those type of small schools, always looking to take a rip at a team like Georgetown from the Big East. It means so much to the school, you know what I mean? So I'm sure they'll come and bring their A game, but there's classes in college sports, and they just a little outclassed with Georgetown, but they may be able to handle it. But Georgetown, on the other hand, should show we are the big boys. We are the upper level in this one, and they should really take them for a ride that first half. I wouldn't go full game with them because they get flat at times. So I think I like what you're doing right there. That was one of the ones in the Big East I did look at because the line wasn't ridiculously crazy, but some of those other ones were like 16 and different lines, so I wasn't with that. But yeah, I like it. I'm not gonna play it, but I like it.
All right. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Our brother Wham, what's good, bro? Love you, man. Good to have you in here. JT, man, congrats yesterday. You you pulled it off, bro. That was nice plays you put out yesterday. I love that JMU play, man. That shit was money, bro. Shit was money. And yeah, you see what he's working with over here, boss. You see it? You see it?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. All right, so let's get into what we got going on next. And this is Townsend versus Clemson. This is your play. This is your play, big boss. Go ahead, bro.
This is my play right here, man, and it's back to what I was just saying about the last game, and has a little bit to do with classism. I always look at classism same way I look at it in horse racing. Just a level of investment, a level of athlete, a level of stuff as it goes up. Here's a great chance for Clemson to show that their true classism as well against a team like Townsend, who's having a great season. Townsend is having a great season. And I mean, if you read the line does say Townsend has a great chance at winning this game right here. So I don't think it's going to be nothing like last night where Illinois takes off in the first half and just keep on going. I think Clemson has a chance to show dominance in the first half, but I think the back door will be open for Townsend. They're one of those teams. They're not going to quit. They're not going to stop. They got some good coaching and some good schemes over there that work. It might not work at first, but it could come back later on and get you. So I kind of endorse what my man JT's doing over there with plus the 6. The 6 is kind of low because I seen it up at 7, so you must have jumped on that one early. But it is up to 7 now, and I'm getting a 3.5 first half, which is also reading the line. If you read the line again, if they split the 7.5 and gave me 3.5 in the first half, that means I got a good fair chance at covering that 3.5. So put me down for Clemson first half minus 3.5.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like that. And JT, I love your play with plus 7 there. I'm a CAA guy. It's we're going to talk about another game in the CAA tonight. Townsend, I like to play plus 7. Townsend is that team. They're not a fast starter, so I agree with Big Boss here with his Clemson pick. But they are a team that can walk through that back door at the end of the game, and if not, walk out of Clemson with a victory tonight. So. Yeah, I mean, I like to play. I like both plays, both of you guys. And, we'll move on to the next one. I mean, I do want to talk a little bit more about this game because you have, you have two teams that I think are very comparable. Especially in defensively and offensively. You got a little bit better shooting percentage with Clemson, which might come down at the end to that might be the deciding factor if Townsend does somehow creep out to a lead or does have a lead late in the game or whatever. The 3-point percentages are definitely favoring Clemson. They're 5% point higher, 5% higher in the true shooting percentage. So you have better shooters on Clemson, but I do think the back door is definitely open for Clemson, and they could very well pull out a victory here. This CAA is a tough conference, man. Especially going out. So that's all I have to say about that game. Ready to move on.
Let me add some more to it too. I forgot about this part right too. Going back what I was saying about classism, strength of schedule going into this game. Townsend, best win they have, I would say, is either Mercer or if you go further down, what you want to go Pennsylvania, but they play some fair competition for their class, and they're doing a great job. They're 8-1. That's great. But to be stepping over to a Clemson team who's just coming off of playing Wake, played PSU before that, played at Cal, played Iowa, played Maryland. They played some legit schools who's came with their A game, and you can see it in the line as well. They had some games went to overtime. They had some games going to high 70s, 80s. So it shows that they've been able to adjust. And I just think, like I said, classism is a different thing. Strength of schedule, same difference really. And I think there's a disparity there. And even though I would love for Townsend to win that game outright, I'm always counting on the little dogs to come home. But when you look at that matchup, Clemson's a favorite for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, the one loss that Townsend does have. It's kind of perplexing to me, but it's against Fairfield, and that Fairfield team. I do expect to see a better Fairfield team out there, and it was a team that I played. To be honest with you, haven't gotten there yet. Don't think we're going to talk about it on the show, but if anybody's interested, I'm more than my DM's more than open for anybody to talk. What's up, Dabby Cab? My guy, Don Play. Good to see you
Tom
all
play.
here. That's our boy there. That's our boy there. So, all right, let's move on to the next one here. This is a big one here. This is a big one. We got a UConn team who came into the season, in my mind, underrated, and have just like put the jetpacks on to the top of the poles, and they're going into Florida. I think you're getting a short number here. You're getting a short number for a reason. But I expect UConn to come out and just blast lights out like they've been doing it when they went west coast to Oregon, they went into Oklahoma State. I mean, they're up big at the half. So I'm expecting to have that same type of play out of Connecticut today. Connecticut is a really good team. They're I can see them winning the Big East. I mean, I expect them, like we were talking about earlier, to be undefeated when they go into Big East play. They're going to catch their first L in the Big East. It's not going to be outside conference, I don't believe. So I expect them to win tonight. I just really like the first halves better, and that's where I'm laying my money tonight. With this Connecticut team, you've got, they're Florida runs a faster pace than Connecticut, but the Connecticut's they're just so tough down low. They've got give me a second while I think of this guy's name. Sanango, Adama Sanango. That dude's a beast, man. And I don't see anybody that Florida can hang, that can hang with him. And then you've got such great guard play with Connecticut as well. I just don't think Florida matches up well with them tonight. And the best, I think we're really going to have to. Florida's going to need to really rely on their threes, and they're not the best 3-point shooting team. They're only shooting 38%. They're only making seven per game. So I think this could be a runaway, man, to be honest with you. But being in Gainesville, that's the one thing, the one X factor here that makes me want to stay off of this full game. You have any thoughts on this game, boss?
I mean, I wish UConn all the luck in the world, and I'm not really sure exactly what we're gonna get out of this Florida team. They're not doing per se well this season so far. They play a decent defense. They play a decent offense, but the defense is ranked 195. Whereas the offense is 39, so that's a little offsetting to know if you can play such a balanced team like Connecticut, who's ranked 24 on offense and ranked 20 on defense. They're scoring 40 points. They're scoring 40 points a quarter plus. I mean, they're having it their way like Burger King. So I mean, I wouldn't get in front of them. I mean, they're a 4.5 point favorite on the road at Florida. The books could be trying to remember this. This makes me think. The number and everything makes me think right here. It's the bookie's job to get money coming in on both sides. So with a number like 4.5 at home, is that a number trying to get Florida fans to say, "Hey, we getting plus 4.5. I got to take us at home," when they know the numbers show UConn could run out of the building with this game.
Yeah, no, and Dart Thrower, you're absolutely right. Donovan Klingen is a beast, man, and I don't see Florida. I mean, there's no way that Jason Jatoba is going to match up with him. I mean, I agree with you 100%, and I wasn't saying that. That that Florida was going to be hitting threes. I was going to be saying they'll be missing them is what I was trying to say. Hope that didn't come out the way that the opposite. So Dabby here tells us of my boy Cab, it went -6 and came back down, back to -4.5. Yeah, I think that's a lot of public money, to be honest with you. The SEC, top of the class basketball. That's the only way that I can see that money. I can't see sharps buying in, to bring that up to 6. To be honest with you, I mean, it may have happened, but I not that late in the game. You know, um, I don't know. I didn't track the line movement on this, to be honest with you. So I kind of slept on that. I got this in my head last night. I saw this and I just waited and waited and waited for that first half to come out. And but yeah, it was a little higher. I did see it a little higher. So there was some buyback. So it is what it is. So I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Dev. I love when you bust in, and y'all check out my guy Dabby Cab tonight, man, with Connor Mack on Pub Sports, their college show tonight. If you guys have a minute at 5 p.m. Central, just to give my boy Cab a shout out. All right, let's get into the next one. This is you right here, big boss. Brink, take it away, bro.
Put me on. Which one we switching to?
Hold on, man. I just lost my. I clicked off the screen by mistake. Go ahead. There you go.
Oh, here we go. My late night game right here. Hawaii and UNLV. So this is a bounce back on the same method that we used yesterday to get that under. Same rules apply. This is back as I tell you about having faith in your cap in. All those type of things. So Hawaii, if you look at their schedule, when they play better opponents, they tighten up a little bit and they play really good defense. Decent defense is their thing. They're on the road right here, so teams usually pack defense on the road for sure. So that's all Hawaii has to land on is their defense, because their offense kind of sucks. So the offense is another key factor in keeping the score low, is because it sucks. So they have to play better defense because the offense can't score as much. UNLV, on the other hand, they have great defense as well, but they can't score the ball. I really think UNLV is going to win this game for sure. I almost bet it full game minus the points. But as I look further and I seen the exact same issue we had yesterday, the full game is 130 for the over and under, yet for half, they're only giving me 61.5. So I'm going to let the bookies do the work right there. They're trying to tell me something, right? They're trying to tell me something right here, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to go ahead. It's a risky bet. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to trail this bet. 61.5 is a really low number for a first half, especially with looking at the bigger number being 130. So it's one of those spots. I did well with it yesterday. I'm going to keep taking the method, like you do homework, keep knocking it down and sending it in and turning it into the teacher. So give me that under first half, 61.5. With I got it at 61.5. Did it go down to 61?
It's a 61 at Caesars. You could probably get a 61.5 at FanDuel. I didn't check FanDuel. I based all these lines off of Caesars. You broke that on.
That's even better for me. That's even more bookies standing up and saying, "Oh no, this might be too high."
Well,
right?
Caesars is pretty.
It might be too low.
Caesars is pretty sharp. Like their lines are always a half point this way or a half point that way, and it's usually towards the if you're betting that where you're losing that half point, you're usually going to win when you bet it with Caesars. I'd say 8 times out of 10, man, to be honest with you. But this game right here, I'm looking at this game, and you got a first half spread of 4.5. I think that's cheap. I think that's cheap with the Rebels, man. They have the ninth ranked defense, ninth ranked defensive rated team in the country, and you have and this proves even more to your point. You have the 37th ranked rated team in Hawaii in defensive rating. So you have two defensive teams here. I would, in all honesty, I'm looking at this first half, and I'm seeing it like probably 28-30 to 18-20, something like that. You know what I mean? I can see that in this game. Maybe a little bit more. I hit it yesterday with the with the whatever game I said that you're under yesterday, where I said it was going to be 60-61 and it ended up at 60. You know, this game might not be that low, but it's going to be in the 50s. I can see it. I can see it being that way. You don't have two of the best shooting teams in the country. You got Hawaii shooting 32% from three, 36% for UNLV from three, and just true shooting percentage at 54 and 56. So, they're not the best shooting teams in the country, but at the same time, you have a better shooting team in UNLV, where they're ranked in the top 100 in the true shooting percentage. I'm actually looking at them and thinking to myself, I'm gonna double this up and parlay this UNLV in the under for the first half, man. I think you may have pushed me right into that one, boss.
Hey man, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to talk these plays out, and that's how we discover some sweet spots. You know what I'm saying? And I actually, like I said, I like the UNLV for the full game minus the 7 as well. I was expecting more of a 3.5 for first half, but when it was 4.5, I was like, wow. But I mean, let the bookies do the work for you. They just told you that they think that UNLV is going to be way more exciting in the first half than the full game. So they correlate together, and it goes well.
It's a 9 p.m. Eastern time, Don. That game, I believe, 9 or 10. So just to let you know, I
That's
don't
the
have
late night over here. That's a West Coast thing over here.
Yeah, I don't have the like I used to use a book that had the numbers that had them all numbered, but I don't use the numbers anymore because these books around here don't use the numbers anymore ever since they have these apps and all this other shit. What's up, my guy Razor Sharp? What up?
Well, you could
Talk
try, Don. You could try in the extra games too, Don. Sometimes if they consider which I wouldn't consider Hawaii and UNLV to be a extra game, but it could show up in the extra games because I use Bookmaker and it was way way down in there, so I had to search a little bit to it, but you should get it.
Yeah, we got our guy Razor Sharp in here, man. I was hitting him
Razor,
up.
Mr. Cash It.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was hitting him up before the show. He's gonna have to let me know if he wants to come on, man. We need to get him on here. Hang out with us and break it down. But Razor, we're going home state right here, bro. Next up, we're talking. Let me pull it up. You're gonna like this one. Boom! Delaware State versus Delaware. I say that because Razor and I are both from Delaware. So just for anybody that out there that doesn't know, this is a game right here where Delaware traditionally dominates this game, and Delaware lost a lot. They lost a lot with Andrew Carr going into the transfer portal to Wake, and Dylan Painter graduating. I mean, they have great guard play though, and with the guard play, Jameer Nelson Jr. and Asamoah, they've got some good shooters, but they just don't have the experience down low, and or the I just don't trust them down low. So, you're giving me 11 points with Delaware State in the first half. I'm going to take it. I don't like betting against Delaware in this situation, but I'm not going to bet against them full game. That's for damn sure. Even though I think Delaware State could possibly cover the full game number, but we're talking 11 on a first. That doesn't even sound right. Did I write that down wrong? That doesn't even sound right, man. I'm gonna have to. That sounds like way too much, man. It really does. So I'm gonna have
Now
to.
the full game is 19 and a half, so that's
Okay.
about right.
Okay, then I didn't write it down wrong. Yeah, that's a lot, and I think we're getting that off of just historic matchups in this when Delaware had that seasoned front court, and they just don't have that this year. So, and Delaware State, we watched them a couple weeks ago hang with Nova. I mean, I was on that play. If you all watched, I think I even did a show that day where I was on Delaware State. So I'm taking Delaware State again, man. And I love to hear that Razors with that too. That's too many points. You're
Hey,
absolutely right.
I'll tell you this here from the last three meetings. One was December 2nd, 21. One was December 16th, 19, and one was December 16th, then December 19th, 2018. Every last one of them, ATS Delaware State covered.
Yeah,
In 2018, they covered plus 23. They were minus 21. I mean, plus 21, and they lost by two. And then in 19, they were 19 and a half, just like they are today. And they covered it plus 11 and a half. They lost 78 to 86. And then the last meeting right here, they brought it down. And think about this, in 21, when these teams met, it was minus 6.5 for Delaware. And now 22, it's minus 19 and a half. That's a big jump right there in those
yeah,
two. So they've been the ATS giant, Delaware State, in that matchup. So it's no reason why not to take those points.
yeah. And I mean, I think you were looking at the record. We got a team that's got one win, and that's against Immaculata. That's a college that 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago was all girls up the street here. So you know, but they've hung with teams. I mean, considering the teams they played, they lost by 10 to Villanova. I mean, Villanova isn't all that, but they've been a consistent second half team. This season, we're gonna talk about that in a couple minutes as well. They lost to Columbia by 5. Um, you know, eh, they'll hang. They'll hang. I think they'll hang here. I don't think they're going to get blown out. I don't want anything to do with the full game. I'm taking this first half because I just think that if Delaware State is going to cover a number, it's going to be this 11 in the first half. First half. So that's where I stand on that. And the matchups are pretty even. Considering they're both around the 200 mark in pace, and both in the Delaware State shoots slightly better from three at 33%, which is surprising to me because Delaware Blue Hens do have some good 3-point shooting guards. I just don't know what's been going on with them. They're just having trouble getting it together, but they need to get it together quick because CAA conference comes. They need to turn it on. But I think these teams are too evenly matched to have that big of a number right now. So that's what it is. All right, let me move on to what we got going on here next. And here's one that if you watched Wham a couple weeks ago when he started doing his late night show, this is a team I was on, Stonehill. And I I really this game I was going back and forth on just because Ryder's a decent team and Stonehill, but Stonehill's one of those shocker teams, man. I'm telling you, and I like them in the first half. If you want to if you got one of those $10-15 parlays, you just want to throw this team in there for the first half. They've been cashing for me this season. Of course, I picked my spots with them, but I think this is a spot they could cash. Do they win this whole game? This full game? No, I don't think so. But the numbers showing me that they can win this first half. That low number. So just to throw that out there. And I have one more that I'm going to talk about here, and this is Penn State. I mean, sorry, University of Pennsylvania versus Villanova, and this game is a game where I've been fading Nova. I've been fading them first half all season. Did it last week in Oklahoma. They ended up winning that game in Oklahoma, but I didn't care because I had already won my first half bet with Oklahoma. That's why I like betting first halves. I don't care what the hell happens at the end of the game. I don't want anything to do with the shenanigans and all the bullshit that goes on. And this is a game where I wish it was at the Palestra, but it's at Villanova, right down the street at Finneran Pavilion, aka used to be known as DuPont Pavilion. So the dude went crazy and started shooting Olympic wrestlers. But Nova. I was at this game last year at the Palestra, and I took Nova first half, and I lost, and I was so mad. It ruined it for the whole game. Of course, Nova ends up cashing the full game, but you know they lost the first half, and I think we're going to get the same type of situation. These are big five teams. You got five teams in Philadelphia. You have right. You have LaSalle, Drexel, Temple, Villanova, and Penn. The Big Five. These teams play each other every year, and it just all goes out the window as far as like who's this and who's that. Nova has owned this the past decade. Temple got it. Um, Temple's got a team this year that's going to be up in there, but this game right here, I see Penn hanging. I see Penn hanging with this, and Temple's the king of the mountain now after beating Villanova back in November. So I this is just a personal preference game, and just out of me knowing these schools and knowing the rivalries, I like the 8.5 with Penn first half today. So that's where I'm standing with that. But there is one game, and I don't know if you know too much about this game before we get out of here, boss. And I wanted to talk to you. I mentioned a little bit about it earlier. The Fairfield game. Let me pull that up real quick. Fairfield and Sacred Heart. This game right here. Everything in my body's telling me to take Fairfield first half, and I believe that's at like 3.5 or four, maybe four now. The line's 7 for the game. Do you have any thoughts on this game? Because this is a
Nah, I haven't made it there yet. I ain't gonna even lie. I haven't made it to that matchup yet.
yeah,
Give me some
'cause-
more time. I have a better feel for both of those teams. But just like
yeah,
that Ryder and Stony Hill, I don't have a feel for that either yet. So I just ain't made it there. But
yeah.
I know Fairfield's been a solid team in the past, but small schools like Fairfield, they change from year to year. So you got to really get in tune and see what they're about
Yeah,
this year.
they're a little better this year, but I've been fading Sacred Heart and making money off fading them, but I don't think this is the spot to fade them. If anybody, looking for another play they want to jump in on, take a look at Sacred Heart first half, getting points. I think it's worth some money. But I'm good, man. I've talked about all the games that I want to talk. I mean, of course, I could talk a lot of games. I want to talk about this NJIT Army game, man. But we all can't just sit here all day. You know what I mean? I like to kind of wrap it up in 45 minutes. So, is there any other games you want to talk
Well,
about, Bob?
I don't think we talked about St. John and DePaul
Oh
because I'm
yeah.
on DePaul. I'm on DePaul full game plus the points.
Oh yeah, man. My bad. That's my fault, man. I forgot to add
No,
that in.
no, it's all good. But this is you know what I'm saying, some good old Big East right here, and I think they're looking at numbers for the season, and we kind of going into some like conference play now, and things are going to change going into these kind of matchups. And St. John, they're having a good season, but in watching them, they're not like a stump down team that's just carrying you from one end to the other. They're kind of spotty at times. So I think um, the Blue Demons can come in here and make a difference. Plus, there's a couple of little discrepancies with some injuries that recently happened. There's a couple injuries on both teams. So, we'll see how that works out as well. So I like the Blue Demons full game plus the points. I think it's
Yeah,
just too many points.
bro, I am so sorry. I forgot to add that. I was trying to add all this in before we started, man. That was one that I forgot to add in there. My apologies, boss.
No, no, it's all good.
Totally forgot about that. But yeah, this was actually a game I wanted to talk to you about because, um, it intrigues me, man. It really does because DePaul is better. They're definitely better than they were last year. Um, you know, and they're starting off Big East Conference here with St. John's at the Garden. Or no, I'm sorry, they're playing at Carnesecca Arena. My bad. But these are two teams where like you're looking at it and all day long you're thinking St. John's. St. John's is like 29th or 30 in pace compared to like 170 or something for DePaul. Which has nothing to do with the spread. That's more of a total thing to look at. But the defensive rating there's such a disparity in the defensive rating where you have a 58th ranked defensive rated team in St. John's versus a 279th ranked defensive rated team in DePaul. And as far as offensive rated teams, they're both like hovering around the same area, 120s, 130s, and you've got a true shooting percentage where DePaul's just a hair above St. John's. So I really want to dig into you and find out what is pushing you towards this play because I want to jump on it with you.
Well, a lot of it has to do with going into Big East conference play, recency bias, right? A lot has to do with that. We, of course, we see this year in, year out, and they kind of settle down. If you look further into it, though, DePaul has ATS 3 of the last 5. But last time out, they didn't cover, which was what was this, March 9, 22. So that's late in the season over there.
That's Big East tournament, right?
Big East, what?
Big East tournament.
Yeah. That was in the tournament, March 9th. Yeah. So, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But the time before that, in February, when they met, DePaul beat them. And then also in January when they met. So these guys see each other a lot, man. So I don't think St. John is at a solid spot where they just going to run away with the game, partly because of their defense. I mean, I would lean over, and the line kind of showed that it's kind of going to go over too, because it's kind of high as it's been in the while right here with the 157. This is the highest it's been in this matchup. So they're expecting them both to score. So if you're gonna go have a scoring battle right here, then yeah, I'm gonna take the dog plus the points. They always got a chance to win because they're gonna keep shooting.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If St. John's can't hold down Javon Johnson, they're gonna have a long night. This kid's been on fire, man. He put up 27 the last game versus Loyola Chicago, and in a DePaul 6-point victory, and then another 28 points against Samford. So this kid's hitting stride. So that's going to be who's going to keep DePaul in the game in this one. So, and I really hope that he has a good game. And I'm not I can't get on this game, but I like what you're saying with it, and I hope you cash, bro.
me and my man Don Plague on cash. I see he has a question right there about the Cal Baptist and Weber State.
Take a look at
that question in the chat. I'm gonna take a look at it right here. Weber State, there's a real bottom feeder for me. I don't do good with bottom feeders early because I don't know exactly how far the bottom is. But Cal Baptist is one of those teams that I watch. Especially Cal Baptist is about an hour and 15 minutes from here. So it's one of the teams I kind of keep my eye on sometimes.
Nutflush. Nutflush's daughter goes there, doesn't she?
Maybe so. Nutflush lives about 30 minutes probably from there.
Yeah, that's somebody we need to talk to. I'll give him a holler, Don, and I'll let you know what he's got to say. I'll give him a call off the show.
That's a great capper. But Cal Baptist been trying to build their program. This is a home game. These home games mean a lot. They invested some money in the school a few years back, got them a nice little stadium, and trying to build this team up. And they've been coming to rising to the occasion at times. But I don't know. I don't know if I trust them with 8.5 points almost against anybody. Even though this Weber State team is only 2-6 right here, they're 1-6 ATS. That's a tough one. It might be one better off taking first half. Might be something you want to jump on early.
That's what he said. He says under 63.5 first half. I kind of like that look. I mean, Um,
I can tell you right now if I'm getting under vibes. I can tell you if I get under vibes. Under vibes. Okay. Oh yeah, great under vibes. Great under vibes. Um, Cal Baptist defense ranked 38. Offense is ranked 335, and Weber State offense is ranked 321, and Weber State's defense is ranked 267. So Weber State don't do much at all good, but remember you need great defense and bad offense to get your unders. So you definitely have some bad offense on both sides, and you have a great defense in Cal Baptist. And just like we said on the show the other day, if the books are saying that Cal Baptist is going to win by 8 and all they have really to offer to the game is defense, then that tells you right there that we should be looking at a under. But I would see more value with that one full game under than first half under though. That's just my take on it though. But I like it. I like the under look in it. You got some of the chemistry that you need for a good under. But you also got with that 1-6 ATS of Weber State, Cal Baptist could run away with this. Remember back, like I said, the book's trying to get 50-50 on both sides. How could they put it? How high could they put it before you jumped on Weber State? How low could they put it? So when you got that built into the number on a team that doesn't have a lot of offense, under seems like the best play.
yeah, I agree with you on the full game rather than the first half. Not saying that the first half wouldn't go under, but I think this would be more of a full game spot. I mean, both teams are barely shooting 50% from the field. But there is one thing that I want to talk about. I don't know if JT's still here, but he's got the over in the Michigan State Penn State game over 136 and a half. And I know a couple people that I've seen today are on Michigan State over Penn State. Um, do you have any thoughts on that game, boss?
That's a good one. Michigan State, spotty with the defense, but kind of built around it. Um, I don't know. Offhand, I would say Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to, and believe me, Michigan State isn't as high up there as I hate to bet them as Duke, but they're up there, and I have tried to take them a couple times this year, and I've gotten burnt, so it's not a game that I'm really on.
Yeah,
But
Michigan State does better mid-season towards the end of the season. Right now, I don't think they're all put together, and they're on the road right there. So I don't know. They're a road dog. Is it value in getting a team like Michigan State as a dog? I don't think so. They don't have the greatest record this year. They're not the greatest ATS. I think this one has to go with namesake right here. I think you might have to go with PSU.
yeah, the only thing that kind of like is turning me off that way is just the level of competition that Michigan State has faced so far and done well against. Gonzaga. Uh, who else? Who was the other team? The Gonzaga and down in Texas.
Gonzaga has 2 losses now, so I don't know about that Gonzaga team.
Yeah, yeah. Who was the other team that they was it Texas or was it Baylor that they played?
Um,
I can't remember. I don't have that.
they
I don't have
beat
that stuff up in front of me.
Oregon, they beat Portland, they beat Kentucky, Villanova. Well, they'll show they lost to Gonzaga by 1.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I see right now.
That was
But
on,
they did lose recently to Notre Dame.
that was on the ship. That was on the ship. The Gonzaga game. Hey, real quick. Before we get out of here, one more game I wanted to pop out at you. Appreciate it, JT. We love having you here, man. Appreciate everybody's support in here. The Dayton Virginia Tech game. Everything in my friggin' mind is screaming for me to take Virginia Tech first half in this game. These teams are really, but the only problem is these teams. You have Virginia Tech coming off of that big win against UNC, and these teams are pretty comparable, man. They're pretty. I think they're pretty much like the same team, you know. But being at home in that environment, Dayton going in there, and you're only gonna let give me that 3.5. Like I only have to cover 3.5 for the first half. I I'm really wanting to take Virginia Tech, man. Am I reaching on this one?
Let me see what the first half looked like for them. I see that Dayton's offense ain't up to par right now, but the defense is banging.
Yeah, yeah,
Um. Oh yeah, Virginia Tech's heavily weighed more on the first half. They scored 41 in the first half, 35 in the second half. So
yeah.
if you read that alone, then you're looking at either taking Virginia Tech first half or taking Dayton full game plus the points.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I think I'm gonna throw Virginia Tech on my card, man.
And then look, Dayton's defense though is holding teams to 25 the first half and 32 the second half. So
Yeah,
that's
and
really
it's really all gonna come down to if what the hell's that dude's name, man? Is that Hunter Couture? Is that who I'm talking about? Hunter Couture? Yeah, Hunter Couture. If he's able to, I think if he's able to hit the threes, it's gonna be a long day for Dayton in that first half, man. But that's the thing, man. Is he gonna come out be able to to stroking, because I know he was a little off to begin with, and then down low you have Basil, man. I think he's a transfer from Wright State. This team's put together well, man. I'm really liking this Virginia Tech team, man.
yeah, and other than that defense, I don't see any bright side to Dayton. Their wins are not great. Their losses are bad. We're not the Dayton team we used to so far. I think yeah, you may be armed to something early with Virginia Tech, especially in the first half. That's their
Yeah,
strongest point.
yeah, and they have a freshman, man, that I really like too, Michael Collins, man. He's gonna be it coming. If he stays, well, he's definitely going to stay past his freshman year. He's not one of those kids that they're going to pluck right out. He'll definitely be there till at least his sophomore year. So this is a kid that to watch for as this season goes on. That's going to elevate this Virginia Tech team, and I expect Virginia Tech to win the ACC again. They won it last year. I expect them to win it again.
Hey, and last meeting between these two teams, it looks like it was at Virginia Tech too, and Dayton won. So a little revenge factor from shout out to my man Jay Money, Revenge Game Jay. Little revenge factor right there as well for Virginia Tech going into the first half. I think I might hop on that play with you. I
My
mean,
man,
they're booming first half. It's a short number. Would you get 4.5 or 3.5?
3.5, 3.5.
It's a short number, 3.5. That's a fair number. I don't think Dayton's defense is going to dominate Virginia Tech to hold them within that amount of points in the first half, especially in the game. It's at home. You got revenge factor. Can't lose to these guys. We having an 8-1 season this year. They haven't been covering ATS. This is one where they cover.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me though is that big win against North Carolina. But I mean, you really can't. Armando wasn't playing that game. You know how happy I had Virginia Tech first half full game for a lot of money, man. You know how happy I was when I saw Armando Baycott sitting on the bench. I was like, I got happy as hell, bro. But yeah, at Caesars the line's 4. So there you go. 3.5 elsewhere, 4 at Caesars. I'm taking it. I'm with it.
That's a good play right there.
So I appreciate everything, man. If anybody have any questions before we get out of here, we had a great show today. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Don Play, JT, our boy Razor showing up, our boy Walter Trotter, the third up in the house, and Dabby Cab, my man. He's probably long gone now. He's getting ready for his own show over there at Pub. So you all can pop over and check that out. But I appreciate you all here. We'll be here tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. DJ Big Boss, I appreciate you, man. Take them out, bro.
Let's get up out of here with a quick what up now. Let's get this cash.
I guess they're led by